Welcome back to this 7-part series, The 7 Deadly Sins That Will Destroy Your Financial Future Forever. This is part 3, but I would encourage you, if you haven't already done so, start from the beginning with part 1. It will set this stage up and others properly as these 7 deadly sins build on each other over time. I'm John MacGregor, the host of Wired for Wealth, guiding you to achieve lasting financial freedom and peace of mind. I want to be your antidote to your financial struggles. My goal is to help you think better so you can do better, so you can feel better about your financial situation. All right, let's dig in. This deadly sin is about lust. And in my 27 years now of working with thousands of individuals, I would argue it's the most deadly sin of them all. And you'll see why in just a moment. So, show of hands, who has a budget in their household? Come on, let's admit it. Let me know. I know that word budget is a horrible word for most people. It's like the new 4-letter swear word, right? Except this one is 6 letters. Just that one word conjures up an uncomfortable feeling, like being told to eat your spinach, right? Or no more desserts, or you got to go out and exercise. So again, who has a budget? Let me know in the chat. And there is no shame if you don't, right? Admitting your weaknesses is the first step to changing them, all right? So there's no shame. And when I say budget, I mean something written down, typed out, or on a spreadsheet, something you stick to for spending and income. And I know you can't respond in verbally or anything like that. I'm just kidding around. But it's no surprise at all if you don't have a budget. Because rarely over the years did I ever see a single client with a budget. Maybe 1 out of 100. No kidding. 1 out of 100 maybe had a budget. So it's no real surprise, actually. It's what we should expect from a culture where we spend more than we bring in, right? Budgets are absolutely crucial to your financial life today and in the future. And not having a budget is precisely why 78% or more of working adults are living paycheck to paycheck and suffocating from mountains of credit card debt. A budget is simply telling your money where to go instead of just waking up one morning and wondering where your money went. A budget is a plan for using your money in a way that meets your vision and your mission and your goals. A budget helps you control spending and puts guardrails on your life. It actually protects you and your family from making bad and destructive financial decisions. And let me be clear, a budget is not designed to deprive you. On the contrary, actually, a budget is designed to assist you in reaching your long-term goals. And by the way, the secret benefit, arguably the most important benefit to a budget, get this, is that research tells us that people who have budgets have significantly less stress than those who don't. That's right, a budget will actually help you lower your stress and anxiety levels around money. I mean, that's pretty powerful, right? And as you've heard me discuss many times before, how stress is the silent killer. It's the leading cause of our most deadly diseases and health ailments. I mean, think about this. Did you know that 75% of doctor's visits are stress related? I know, it's crazy. I didn't believe that statistic at all when I saw that. But Google it yourself, and what you'll find is that some of these research studies actually show that it's even more than 75%. So imagine, over 3/4 of doctor's visits are stress related. It's pretty amazing. So there's absolutely a direct correlation between your money struggles and stress. And when you consider that 78% of people are living paycheck to paycheck, that means 78% or more are financially stressed. That's why I say this financial epidemic is affecting more people than all diseases combined. And a budget is a huge antidote to your stress issues. I can't tell you how many people in their mid to late 60s, even 70s, this is a typical scenario. They come into my office, they're all excited, and they say, "Hey John, I've been working for 30, 35 years or 40 years, and I am ready to retire. I have earned this. Let's make it happen." And they will lay out their financial statements and I can almost tell in a split second, there is no possible way they're going to be able to retire or retire the way they've always envisioned. They're either going to have to go back to a work that they can no longer do because they're just too old, or they don't want to work, obviously, or they're going to have to significantly lower the retirement lifestyle they have always envisioned. That is arguably the most painful conversation I've had over the years with hundreds of individuals that came into my office. I can't tell you how excruciating that is for both of us sitting in there, and I have to explain to this person who's worked so hard to get to where they are, and they cannot retire the way they wanted to, or they cannot retire at all. It's a horrible situation, and I do not want that to happen to you. That's why this episode is so vitally important, and I would urge you to share this with others. And you know, the primary reason behind this is because people are not budgeting. They are winging it through life. The money comes in and goes out the door just like that. And they wake up one day, they're 65, they want to retire, as I said earlier, and they can't. I mean, it's really a painful thing, and I cannot stress this enough. You've got to manage your money, what's coming in, but especially what's going out. Too many people I've seen have just hoped and prayed that everything will work out in the end, and I will tell you, hope is not a retirement plan. So when you have a budget, it forces you to take stock of all your purchases. Every single thing you spend money on would have to be tracked. And that would mean you may need to cut back on some of those expenditures you desire. It also means you'd be managing your impulse purchases on things you don't need. So how does budgeting equal lust? Well, just what I told you. When you budget, you can look, but you can't touch. You can dream, but unless it fits in your well-crafted budget properly, you have to continue to dream and imagine what your life would be like with it rather than getting it right then and there. Lust is a very powerful emotion. We often associate lust with sex, right? But you can lust for many other things that have nothing to do with those desires. I mean, you can have a form of lust or a strong desire, right, to buy that new flat screen TV or that the new iPhone, right, or the new designer suit. You can lust after a different job for a different company. You can lust after that new barbecue island your neighbor just installed in their backyard. When you lust, you have a strong desire to possess something you don't have, and in most cases, you don't need. It's really a form of covetousness, actually, but it drives to the heart of the individual. When you lust for something, many cases, you'll do whatever you have to do in order to obtain it. That means skipping out on the budgeting, which everyone should be doing. So do you know where your money is going? Let me just ask you. Put in the chat, do you know where all your money is going every day, or every week, or every month? If you don't budget, you have no idea where your money should be going or where it's going. And that's the root of the problem. And as I always say, what you are aware of, you can control and identify opportunities. But what you are not aware of will always control you. That's why the budget is so important. What happens when you don't budget and you're not aware of what you're doing with your spending? Generally, you end up getting paid, paying your bills, and then spending the rest of the course of the week or next 2 weeks, eventually reaching the point where you're waiting eagerly for that next paycheck. Does that sound familiar? It's a vicious circle that too many people are on. Look, if you were to set sail across the Pacific, right, and you wanted to go to Fiji, the island of Fiji, but you didn't map out how you'd get there, or have a GPS or a compass, guess where you could end up if you're just half a degree off? Possibly North Korea or some other dreadful place. I mean, show of hands again. Who would like to end up accidentally in North Korea? That's the equivalent of ending up in retirement and not being able to retire. It would not be fun, right? If you don't know where you're going financially and into the future, you'll never get to where you want to be. It's that simple. And budgeting is the critical piece that will help you land where you want and where you deserve to be. And look, you don't need to be a rocket scientist to budget. It just takes common sense and consistency. You can do it. And when you do, you'll be far less likely, less tempted to spend beyond your means. And you'll have the funds to invest in your future, for your retirement, and not end up like those 65-year-olds in my office. And here's the basic common rule for your budget. Ideally, you want to be in a place or moving in the direction of the 50-30-20% rule. 50% of your take-home pay goes to your needs. That's your rent or your mortgage. That's your gas, food, utilities, car insurance, cell phone, those things that you need to live on. 30% goes to your wants. That's your Netflix subscriptions, your memberships. That's your dining out, your vacations, those kind of things. And 20% of your take-home pay goes for your future. That's your retirement fund. That's where you want to be. And if you're not, or you're not even close to that, you really need to analyze your spending and where your money is going and identify what changes you can and need to make. It all boils down to one thing: your priorities in life. If this is a priority, which it should be, you will make this happen. The question is, do you want to live large today and suffer the consequences in the future? Or do you want to do the right things now so you can have an amazing life in the future? That's the question. I certainly hope you choose the latter, because there is no greater feeling than achieving financial freedom and independence and living life on your own terms. You can do this. I know you can. And look, it will take a little work up front to set up your budget and your spreadsheet or what have you, but once it's in place and you dedicate time once a week, it'll typically take 10 minutes a week to monitor where you're at, where you're going relative to your budget. Just take some time to set it up and then stick to a plan. And if you have a partner or a spouse or what have you, do this together. It's essential that both of you are on the same page. So I'll wrap up there. I hope this was helpful. Don't forget to hit subscribe, because you do not want to miss the next deadly sin, which is a killer. You do not want to miss this. Go ahead and share this to your friends, your colleagues, your coworkers, or family, whoever, because you could be doing a lot of good for other people by paying this forward. We've just launched my international best-selling book for free on my website. You just pay shipping and handling, so you can go check that out right now. And that book, based on the comments and the reviews, has been a game changer for so many people. The overarching the theme of my book and why it's become so popular is that learning from people's successes is smart, but learning from people's mistakes is genius. And this book gets to the heart, the psychological heart of why people do the wrong things with their money. I've also got a lot of free downloads on my website that you can download today to start your journey to financial freedom and peace of mind and help you with your budgeting process. Go check that out now. Leave a message, hit subscribe, and we'll see you in number 4. Take care. Upward and onward. Bye-bye.